Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the channel. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So, today we're going to be talking about magic, hoodoo, and occult in the movies. Okay, so we've all been watching a lot of movies lately. I know a lot of y'all have seen Sinners, and if y'all haven't seen my take on Sinners, I did a whole video. Magic in the movies, if y'all are a fan of Lovecraft Country, a lot of stuff like that is out. So I have a special guest this morning or this afternoon. We're going to be welcoming Terrane Hicks, and we're going to be discussing magic in the movies. So welcome. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hold on one second. Say hi, Terrane.
What's going on? What's up?
What's up? Hold on. All right. So what is your favorite movie that has magic, hoodoo, or the occult in it? Let's put our favorite movies down there in the comments. What's yours?
Princess and the Frog, number one. Number two. Well, you know what? Fantasia's number one.
Okay.
Fantasia. Yes, Fantasia. Then Princess and the Frog. And then the Ninth Gate.
Ooh,
I really like that one because that one is referencing the Necronomicon, so I really like that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, there's so many. You know what I'm saying? And then, this recent, well, I consider it recent. I really liked Lovecraft Country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy that you mentioned that because it ties in so much magic.
Yes. I think I always like watching Fantasia as well. But there was this one, and it literally was teaching the occult, and it was like some Donald Duck cartoon from back in the old days where they were teaching like sacred geometry and everything on Disney. And, I was like, wow. But one of my favorite occult or magic movies is definitely like, I liked, I don't want to say like, it's like I don't know if it was like really magic or if it was like more fantasy, but I used to like watch movies from the 80s, and they had a lot of like The Gate. You remember The Gate? I don't know if you're old enough to remember The Gate.
Yeah, I remember The Gate.
The Gate. Okay, that one.
The Gate. Yeah,
that's what got me. And like those little minion things. So that's what got me interested in like some of the occult stuff. The Necronomicon book that I saw in The Evil Dead. Do you remember that movie?
The Evil Dead. I remember The Evil Dead.
Okay.
Hey, remember the Craft?
Yeah.
That's in the top 4. The Craft. Mm-hmm. And then Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Yeah. Labyrinth.
Yeah, that was one I used to watch all the time too because it was funny and I liked the Muppets. Yeah. And Legend. Do you remember Legend?
Yeah, I remember Legend. Yeah, Legend's that's a classic. That's in the top 4. Yep. Legend's good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like what movie, like the occult, a lot of the symbolism in some of your favorite movies, like what told you like this is different? Like which movie did that for you? What movie made you like more interested in the occult?
I think it was Labyrinth because I remember very early on being fascinated by the movie and looking at so much research that occultists did on this movie, like whole entire like essays and things like that with so much layers of symbolism. I remember that. I was young. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's one of the things that really got me interested in the occult, was how much study was done by occultists on one movie. And it was just so many layers. And I'm like, whoa, the occult is like this deep. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of pissed my third eye way open into this whole world of the occult.
Mhm. Yes, when I saw The Gate and when I saw Evil Dead, like they always had like these rituals. I think it was the rituals, the spells, the book, like that part of it, and like the necromancy and all that kind of stuff. That's what drew me in because I was like into that kind of stuff. So it was more of the hidden stuff and the scary stuff that kind of got me to into it. And now it's like everywhere. It's not even it's like a huge thing that people are pointing out on TikTok and stuff that's like, don't go see the movie Sinners. If you're a Christian, there's too much magic and hoodoo in it because there's like a lot of hoodoo and like magic and witchcraft and stuff in it. Not even a lot, but people are saying don't go see it. It's a spiritual warfare or something like that.
I saw
And
that.
I saw the movie and it wasn't even hardly nothing in there like that like that spiritual. It was just like somebody made a mojo bag and there were some vampires. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was that, and it of course it revealed some knowledge about the different ancestral realms and how everything is like past, present, and future. When music, it's a lot of stuff you talk about. Actually, that's why I thought you should definitely check it out because they talked a lot about the ancestors. They talked a lot about music, creating like portals between past, present, and future, and ancestors, and how it's all connected, da, 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 and how the musicians were like, very. Remember, what did you say about the musicians? I don't want to mess up your words about them being very like divine.
Yeah, they're born as sorcerers. They're the first spiritualists, the first advanced spiritualists of musician. So naturally, they are the sorcerer,
Yeah.
musicians and poets.
Yes. So yeah, that's why. Okay. So I don't want to give no spoilers, but the main musician in the movie Sinners was like doing some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like magical things were happening, and I think that's what a lot of the people were saying. Oh, that's opening up yourself to this or opening up yourself to that. You
Yeah.
know, and they're
Mhm.
telling Christians not to go see it, but then they watch The Exorcist.
Then yeah, the contradiction. But
Okay.
what fascinates me with uh movies and the occult is that a lot of people don't know that Hollywood started in an occult town. First thing, this place Hollywood before uh the the college students that were learning film in California, they went to this place called Hollywood, and that town was already deep into the occult, and the students synced with the occult practitioners, so they naturally became deep into the occult because Hollywood was a very very occult town. So Hollywood started in the occult, and that never changed. From the
Right.
start of Hollywood, it was a cult, and
So
the history of Hollywood is so deep.
literally every movie that they watch has occult stuff in it. They just are, it's just hidden more and they're unaware of the symbolism. But when you make movies about magic and the occult, they put more of it out there because that's what you're going to see it for. But any movie that you watch got symbolism of the occult in it. So it's not going to make a difference anyway. And if they really
And,
wanted to do something to you, they would definitely hide it in something you would not suspect, right?
yeah, you know what's so fascinating to me about the occult in movies is you have to utilize the occult to become a good film producer
Mm-hmm.
because that whole art of storytelling, it has to sync back to something occult. It has to, or you're not going to be a good film producer at all. So they learn that very early on. You know,
Yes, I
yeah.
agree. I agree. Okay, somebody put Pet Cemetery. You seen that movie?
No, I haven't seen Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery.
Uh-uh.
Okay,
Pet Cemetery. Okay.
that was a good movie. I think you would have liked that one. It had something to do with Native American magic.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
they would bury their pets in a Native American cemetery, and the pets would come back alive. But this man buried his child there, thinking it would work because he buried his cat there. The cat came back, but the cat was a little grouchy, so he buried his son there, and the son came back like evil. And so I think you would like it. It's by Stephen King. So
Okay.
uh, that was a good one as well, and it had like a lot like ritual magic from like the Native American burial ground and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's subtle. It's just subtle, like different forms of magic. And I like how in some movies they put it in your face, and in some movies they don't, to make you more interested in going doing more research. So like, or they pair it with like in Lovecraft Country, they pair it with like Lovecraft stories, but then they also put the occult part in there too. So like I'm
Yeah.
rewatching that right now. I'm rewatching with my daughter because she's old enough now. I'm rewatching Lovecraft Country. So there's a lot of stuff I missed in the first
So
one.
much stuff in there's so much stuff in there. Enochian magic, Kabbalah,
Mm-hmm.
ATRs. It's like they put a lot of different magic in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodoo, full of hoodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Even the music in Lovecraft Country is that's the hoodoo magic. It's so deep.
Mm-hmm.
Like the soundtrack is even attached to magic.
Yes. Lovecraft Country, it's a series. People are asking about it. And what about like, I don't know, is there a word? I don't remember what they called it, where people could shapeshift into other people. What was that?
Oh, I forgot.
Because they were
Yeah.
doing that type of magic.
They had a lot of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Shape shifting, opening up portals, like yeah,
So
real
that's a
stuff.
mm-hmm. And I was like, is because like that part where they opened up the portal, I know y'all have probably already seen it. Only got once, was it one season? I don't know. But when they opened up that portal, when they opened up the portal and they were using the guy's energy with the sons of Adam or something like that.
Yeah, the Sons of Adam. Yep.
It backfired because of the ancestor.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And the whole Sons of Adam thing, that stuff was like bloodline magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sons of Adam, that was related on a real magical order.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And real Western fraternity. So I thought that was deep. Like the Golden Dawn, that was kind of connected to the sun in the OTO. That's all connected to the Sons of Adam or that reference. So I thought that was deep.
Yeah, they show a lot of secret society stuff and occult and ritualistic stuff, as well as like the monsters and stuff from the Lovecraft books and stuff. And they kind of mesh it all in with the time and the era and what's going on. So a lot of the horror and a lot of the ancestors and a lot of the ghosts and stuff have to do with real life experiences from back in the 50s.
Yeah. I really like the language of Adam reference because that was dealing with the Enochian or angelic language. So yeah, for them to tie all that stuff in, I thought that was brilliant.
Yes, I think I'm on the episode where he was trying to decode it, and it led him back to one of his girlfriends when he was in Korea. And and then they go into the Korean magic or the Asian magic, and then so they tap into like ancient native magic, all the occult magic, and then they go to Korea and tap into the Asian magic over there. So they're everywhere with it. So you're going to see all types of magic in Lovecraft Country, and I think that's a great example.
Yeah, I think it was deep because like even with the language of Adam, right? A lot of the secrets in the Kabbalah, as far as language, tie back to angelic language. And that application where like he goes back to his old girlfriend and stuff like that. You hear about this in the mysteries of the Kabbalah. So like just the accuracy of how they were using that magic in that series, I thought that was real cool. See, as an occultist, if you watch that series as an occultist, you're gonna be fascinated the whole time.
Yeah.
They need it. Did they discontinue that series?
They only had they didn't make
Like
any more. No.
like 10 episodes or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe it was too much for people. I don't know.
Everybody was talking about it too.
Mm-hmm. But it seems like the movie Sinners may have gotten a little bit of inspo from Lovecraft Country, maybe a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think so, and I think you'll like it a lot because it's.
I didn't see Sinners, but I did see like trailers, and it reminds me from the trailers. I'm like, okay, this is kind of like Lovecraft Country a little bit.
Yeah, it gives that vibe,
Yeah.
but it goes way deeper. Like, you know how you, like something is good, but then it goes like on a whole nother level that you did not expect. But if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think you'll get it. It's very interesting, and everybody like. There's no right or wrong in it. That's what I liked about it. Like it is what it is.
I have a hypothesis about series and movies that have so much occultism in it. I feel like these things are inspired by jinn. You know, like the producer, I feel like they get influenced by entities because the level of accuracy is crazy. Yeah. So I look at it from that lens when I see this stuff.
Yeah. I think you're onto something too, because there was a scene in there that had a little like had a little fire scene in there with, you know, little sparks and stuff. I think it kind of alluded to that a little bit too. Because you know how they say jinn is like of the smokeless fire?
Right.
I think you'll see that in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so like another good show, American Gods. That has a lot of, we talked about that before. Let me read what people have written. Oh, you can talk about it.
So let me see. What do I want to say about American Gods? Because everybody talks about the American Gods, and I think that's dealing with gods and thought forms and technology and how all that stuff blends, and there's rank to all of that stuff. Right? I think American Gods is hitting on the future of occultism in the next like 100,000 years, because it blends all the different versions of like Western ceremonial magic, thought forms. It brings the thought forms to life, dealing with the old gods and the new gods. I think all of that stuff is like the future of what all of this turns into. So I thought American Gods was dope and brilliant.
Agree. Yeah. That's a good show. Someone said to check out Evil on there's a show called Evil. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that.
I think I've seen it. It's about an exorcist, and they go around to different people doing exorcisms on them, and it's like a series. It's it's not like a reality series. It's like a show, and it kind of touches on like necessary evil, mental stuff, and so it's pretty good. I like it.
Okay. What do you think about American Horror Story, Coven?
Oh, that's a good one. I like the American Horror Stories. I stopped watching after the Armageddon one or the Trump one. I don't know, because I got too busy or something, but I stopped watching it. But I think the Coven one was probably the best one because of the setting. It was in New Orleans, the cinematography, and then the witches, and then the history behind it. I think that was one of their best seasons because of what it showed. And, you know, That's probably
Okay.
gonna be my favorite series on witchcraft anyway.
Yeah. My hands down, it's my favorite series on witchcraft. That's it was so accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
do you think that like I think they should have made like way more series on stuff like based in that type of like Anne Rice is doing her thing. I know she's no longer alive, but she gave her rights to I think AMC to do her movies or her not her movies but her series. But I think a lot of the witchcraft in um, the Witching Hour and Mayfair Witches and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
good too.
Yeah. That stuff's good too.
Hmm. Oh, WandaVision. Have you seen that? I think it
No.
comes. I think it's on Disney Plus. But
Okay.
you would like. Oh, there's two of them. WandaVision and something about Agatha. It was always Agatha or something like that. It's about witchcraft. Like you
Okay.
think it's about something, and then like it shifts through time, and then you think it's about superheroes, but then they're all witches.
Oh, I like that.
Everything goes back to witchcraft. So it's funny. Like you'll like it.
Okay.
Oh,
What about Sabrina?
oh yeah, that one very much occult in there. Like that's I
And
watched
that one was short. That one was short too.
that. I watch that every fall since it's been out. Like
Really?
I've watched it about 5 times.
Nah, Sabrina was good.
Yeah, because I like the ambiance of it. I like their house, like the fact that they live in a mortuary. I like all the occult, all the science, all the Lilith, the female empowerment. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the fact that they're not afraid to say certain things or represent certain things.
Mhm.
They're kind of bold with it. Uh-huh.
Disney has so much occult movies,
Mm-hmm.
like just super heavy into the occult. And then you got Disneyland, Disney World,
Mm-hmm.
where now the technology really takes you into these realms.
Right.
Yeah, and that's all, and all of the money from Disney World, that's all generated from these movies. So like, it's just deep. It's just deep.
Yes. That's what they do in the series I was just telling you about. And they take you through different times, different realms, and different mindsets in um WandaVision and Agatha All Along, because those two go together. Like those series are like a spin-off of the other. And so one of them, like Agatha All Along, I know you haven't seen it, but it literally takes you to a whole other realm through witchcraft, through
Mhm.
a circle of witches. They had to get a bunch of witches to do like a spell in order to get into a different realm. And it's real good. In the end, it's like I don't know if there's going to make another season, but the last part of it is literally showing you the magician and the ability to create, as above, so below, and stuff like that. I think you would really like that one. It's called Agatha
Uh,
All Along. If you could just find a way to watch it or find a time to watch it, you would like it. I think you would.
ju- just from your breakdown, being initiated into like v- African witchcraft, um, it's like what's put into these movies and how things go in these movies, like are secrets, are initiated secrets. So that fascinates me.
Mm-hmm.
How you can actually observe true initiate secrets just by watching certain movies. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, someone mentioned one of my favorites too. Penny Dreadful. Have you
Oh
seen
yeah,
Penny?
yeah. That is top notch. I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack of Penny Dreadful have real witch incantation formulas.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that stuff is real. Penny Dreadful. Yeah. Wow. Hmm.
I liked
Deep.
it. I liked it too. Like I watched it a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched Penny Dreadful a couple times.
Okay, what do you think about the Da Vinci Code?
Vinci Code was on point. Little watered down to the whole science of the Da Vinci Code, though. I think it was on point for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, the Ninth Gate is kind of like a more amped up version of the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah. What do you think about Angels and Demons?
That one was pretty good. I like that one a little bit more because it had more excitement in it, but also the fact that they brought in the Catholic Church, all the Pope stuff, and like, I think it was interesting, but I feel like also it was more about like saving religion or trying to be a hero.
Yeah, okay. I've seen a lot of occult symbolism in there, but you got to know what you were looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did too, but I didn't see it as many times as I saw the Da Vinci Code because I guess it wasn't as hyped up.
Gotcha.
Okay, let me read some of these movies. Okay, have you seen the movie As Above, So Below?
Yes.
Did you like that one?
It was okay.
The end was weird for me. Like, it was interesting though. It's based on like a story, like the tunnels under Paris.
Yeah.
You get lost in them, but then they added that, Egyptian aspect to it.
Yeah, I didn't. It was all right.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Yeah. I think they should let that last part out. But I think it was a metaphor for him dying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's all. Because some people don't find their way out of them tunnels.
I like the Scorpion Key.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was hitting on some real Kemetic or Egyptian magic.
So, what do you think about people that like won't let their kids watch certain movies because it has magic in it? Like,
you know what's interesting?
What?
What I think is interesting is like a lot of the movies we watched that had magic in it as children. When we get older, we go back to our psyche goes back to those movies as references, and we are able to tie things together because we watch these things early on. The movies are like a form of training, just like with video games, right? It's like training into like deeper esoteric arts. Same thing with movies. So I would say yes, allow your children to watch these movies because they'll be able to draw certain connections subconsciously, and then they'll be like, "Hold on, where did I know that from? Oh yeah, that movie." Because that happens to me all the time.
I agree because a lot of the stuff that I reference are from movies. Like I use movies and metaphor to explain things easier to people on how to tap into their powers. And it's literally a reference point on how to tap into your powers when you get older and you actually need it.
It's actually, I love that you do that because from way back when they were carving the Sumerian tablets, and then it was all about storytelling to help the culture develop. And then even with the Romans and the Greeks, with the Greek mythology and all of that stuff, all of that stuff was essential training. And then now we turned it into movies. But there's nothing new under the sun. And even in Africa, they got stories called apocryphs and fables and stuff like that. But like the storytelling stuff it's necessary training for human development and psychology. So if we can extract from things from movies, we're doing what we were doing 10,000 years ago. Just we don't use stone tablets anymore.
Right.
It's the same science.
That's right.
It's the same science.
It is. And putting a lot of fear into people and not allowing them to watch certain movies, they're just going to go run and watch it when they get older anyway. And, also putting a lot of fear due to religion is literally like keeping people away from knowledge that's going to help them later on, like you said, in their psyche. So,
Right.
I don't think, and plus a lot of the movies that they watch anyway, if as long as they put like a happy ending in a church with a Jesus in it, it still can show you the same type of magic. You know what I mean? They,
That
they,
too.
they don't like the delivery or the story setup because it doesn't go in their favor of their religion. Because they don't
Right.
care if you watch The Exorcist. They don't care if you watch a movie if the magic person loses the battle or whatever.
That's so true.
The outcome. So it's not about the magic. It's about the story in general.
That is so true.
Because there's magic in the Bible. They be reading that.
Yep.
Okay. So, what's your favorite Hoodoo movie? I don't know if you're too into Hoodoo, but what movie that did you like that had Hoodoo or Voodoo in it? The best movie that you've seen?
Let me think.
Old?
I think about that. What's a good Hoodoo movie that I remember? Other than
Or Voodoo.
the Skeleton Key
Okay.
had a lot of good Hoodoo in it. Well, that was the what 2000. Eve's Bayou. Eve's Bayou.
Yes.
That was actually full of Hoodoo, especially like how she did the reading. She did that in a very Hoodoo way. Eve's Bayou. Candyman.
Yeah.
That actually had a lot of Hoodoo in it.
It did. Like urban Hoodoo.
Yeah, like urban Hoodoo, like
Hoodoo, but urban. Yeah.
real stuff too. To this day, a lot of that Candyman stuff is authentic. It's noted as authentic.
I like his lore and his backstory too. That was very Hoodoo.
Yeah, that is such a good movie. Candyman. I remember people were afraid to watch that movie.
I watched it a lot.
That is such a good movie. Candyman. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Serpent of the Rainbow?
I haven't.
It's older. It's from the late 80s.
Okay. Never
Has,
seen that.
Okay, it has Lisa Bonet in it. That's why she got kicked off the Cosby Show, because she did that movie.
She got kicked off because she did that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Hey, have you ever seen Angel Heart?
No, that's the movie I'm thinking about. I got them mixed up.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Angel Heart is why she got kicked off.
Okay, yeah.
I got them mixed up because they're kind of similar.
Okay.
So
and she was in the Serpent and the Rainbow too, I think.
Okay, so I don't think she was in Serpent of the Rainbow. I was getting them mixed up. But like Angel Heart and Serpent of the Rainbow are kind of similar. You would like both of them. So Serpent of the Rainbow, this man goes to I don't know, I think he goes to Haiti. And he's looking for that zombie stuff, that zombie sprinkle. And he goes through a whole ordeal. Okay, it's really good.
What about The Reaping?
The Reaping.
You ever? Yeah, it's what's another one? Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Okay, I have that book and my daughter is reading it. But I have
a lot of Hoodoo in there.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me see what other ones. Oh, what was that one movie? No, that wasn't Hoodoo. Okay, let me read some of these. Voodoo is organized religion. Hoodoo is a spiritual practice. Yes, that's the difference.
That's true.
There's a lot of Hoodoo movies out there. I just can't even think of that off the top of my head. But there's some Hoodoo and some of the vampire movies too. There's a lot of magic in vampire movies as well. If you get into that.
What did you think of Vampires of Brooklyn?
My favorite speech was when he was the pastor and he was outside on the church lawn talking about evil is good.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene too.
And he started spilling everybody's tea, making them mad. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, I like how they had the little backstory and the lore of the Caribbean vampire.
Yeah.
And
See, even that, some authentic stuff.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of history in there and authentic, like Caribbean, like lore, and they connected it to
Yeah.
something, not just a silly
Yeah.
movie. You know?
Yeah. I like that. Yep. Yep. White, that's an old movie. White Zombie.
I never seen that.
Yeah, I think it was like in 1930 or something like that. It's an old Hoodoo movie.
Okay, somebody said the movie Spell. Have you seen Spell?
Oh yeah, Spell. Yeah, where the guy survived the plane crash.
Yes, that movie was
like yeah, that there's a lot of hoodoo in there. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's like that hoodoo mountain magic.
Yep.
Whatever they was doing over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's some real stuff in Spell. Yep. Mm-hmm. That movie came out like 5 years ago.
Yes. I sat down and watched that. I didn't know what it was. And I was like, I was traumatized after the movie. I was like, oh, what they did. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. Let me see. Crossroads. Have you? I don't know. What's that? Is that like that old movie about the blues singer?
No, I haven't seen Crossroads.
I think I might have seen it. I can't remember. It's old. It's kind of old, right? I think it's like the original version of what Sinners was kind of like touching on, like to sell your soul for, fame or something like that. I can't remember.
Have you ever seen well, it's not a movie, but Down in the Valley?
Mm-mm.
It's it's like a Hoodoo series.
No, I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Anyway, so all these movies have a lot of magic and hoodoo and occult in them. So
yes,
I watch them. They're pretty good. You can learn a lot of stuff from movies too, and it'll lead you to more research and interest in certain things that you may not have even known about.
It's fascinating what we learn from this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of information, kind of like overnight too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because a lot of
what about the Harry Potter series?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty good.
I think with the Harry Potter series, it's good to know how the secret societies operated in the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
In some of the elite schools where like magic was practiced. Mm-hmm. The Harry Potter series hits on a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. I remember a long time ago, before that book came out, or before the movie came out, it was like in the 90s. I had this big old giant computer with like, the giant ones that they used to have. And internet had just came out, right?
Yeah.
I found a school just like Hogwarts. It was it was in another country. I can't remember the country, but you literally had to sign a paper saying that if you die or if something happens to you, they're not responsible. And it was a literal like school like Hogwarts, but it was for adults, for people studying magic, the occult, and stuff like that. I don't even know if it's open. I think it closed down, but it was a real school like that. And I think maybe her movie was based on those types of schools because they have them. I don't know if they still got them. I don't know if you can find it online anymore. But this is when the internet was fairly new,
Yep.
like AOL. So I found a school like that, and like it cost a lot of money to go.
Oh yeah.
It was like $30,000 for tuition, and you have to live there, and it was literally in a castle.
Yeah. So like Skull and Bones and a lot of these secret societies, the secret societies that run the world, they have schools like this in Europe, elite schools. And first you had to be like all the way at the top of your grade point average, and your parents had to have a lot of money. And then as you excelled in school, then you got into the secret societies, and then you started to learn occult magic. But you couldn't learn occult magic unless you actually were really good with math and science and all of that stuff. So yeah, like I said, Harry Potter really hits on a little bit of how those schools were. A lot of those schools were in castles, and a lot of it was bloodline was very important. Like you had to have like someone in your bloodline who went to one of these schools. So every time I watch Harry Potter, I'm just looking at all of that.
Yeah. And there are some TV shows like that too now, right? The Magicians. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
The Librarians. Stuff like that.
Yep. That stuff is still very prevalent in Europe. Even more secretive these days.
Right. I don't know
but those that went to these schools, they would become like world bankers and stuff like that.
And I tried to find it again, and I can't find it. It's gone. Like I went back to look for it like a couple of years later, and it had been erased from the internet. Can't find it. But you said that they are out there, and these bankers and like all these people with family bloodlines and secret societies are attending these European magic schools.
Yep, those things still exist. They're very well hidden, very private. Like there's castles and there's like elite hotels that you can't even go online and book. They're that private and that elite. Right.
Yeah.
We have hotels in New York that are built like castles that cost like $10,000 a night that you cannot just use a credit card and pay for. Really? You have to fill out an application, and that application has to get accepted just to book a room.
Wow. Do they do rituals and stuff in there? Is it like a lot of occult?
Oh, symbolism. It. Oh, absolutely.
I saw a house like that. I saw a house like that for sale, and they had the staircase had dragon carved banisters on it. The floors were black and white and like a circle with like some symbols in it. The stained glass windows in the house were like some type of weird occult symbols. And I said, I know who lived here. Some person that practiced the occult. And it was like an old Victorian house, an old Victorian mansion in the middle of Iowa.
Yeah, we got that stuff all over New York. And it's like hidden right in plain sight. But it's so private that if you don't know what it is, you'll walk right past it.
Like the Doctor Strange office.
Yeah, like but then, these places also have a lot of private security guards and stuff like that.
So have you ever been invited to one?
Have I ever been? Well, I am in a secret society. So I have been invited to some very high-end lodges, like Masonic lodges. But I haven't been into these private estate rituals. No. Okay. I have not.
You seen Get Out, right?
You said what? Yo, Get Out. You
Okay,
know you know what I want to do? It's a dream of mine. I want to go to like one of the castles that Queen Elizabeth owned, and I want to do a ritual. But I want to take like 20 people with me. I want to do a ritual for like 5 days. Yeah, that's probably going to cost a lot of money.
Is it in the UK or?
Yeah, it's in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of witchcraft there.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they took a little trip there on the Mayfair Witches on that series. The Anne Rice series.
Yeah, I just want to go there and like I want to do a ritual and I want to fill out the atmosphere. Knowing that so much witchcraft went down in these castles, like I want to do my own Illuminati ritual.
You gonna do a ritual for? Like what's
money?
Oh, of course, always. I was like, okay, I shouldn't even ask that dumb question. So that sounds fun. Y'all gonna be wearing some robes? Y'all got y'all robes together?
Yeah, we got our custom coven robes. Right? They fitted and all of that. So yeah, everyone's gonna have their incantations memorized. Yeah, I want to do this within the next 2-3 years. Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Okay, somebody commented there's a magic school being built in Transylvania. She saw it on TikTok. It's wild. Do you guys hear about it?
I haven't heard about it, but the history of Transylvania, when it comes to the witches and the vampires, is so deep. Oh my God. It's like a whole world of occultism. It's so fascinating to me.
Yeah. And if it's a school, I don't know if it's open to the public or if they're going to be letting anybody in, or is it going to be like one of those secret schools that you have to, because they're making stuff more known now, but not everything known, just a few things. Not as powerful or as potent as some of these other ones.
Did you know that the Disney castle was the archetype of a real castle? Where a lot of occult things went down?
Really?
Yep.
You know, I also heard that Disneyland was built to look like New Orleans. And that castle was the church of New Orleans. So if you look at the New Orleans French Quarter and then you look at Disney World, it's the same setup. Because New Orleans was magical.
I gotta check that out.
It's very magical, and they're trying to get the same energy as New Orleans has and put it into Disney World. So that's what their inspo was.
Yeah, you know, like when you asked about American Gods, it's like the theme of that was dealing with like belief feeds the gods existence. So when I look at like Disney World, and it's like that place brings these entities alive because you're in fantasy land, and the way they have that technology there, it's like you believe that they're real. And that's giving them life. I always thought that was deep. That's one of the reasons I think American Gods is like hitting on something very accurate.
Yep. Like that show had a lot of knowledge in it as well. I had to stop watching it when it like got to a certain point, but it was so much knowledge in there. I would literally be trying to take notes and, you know, make videos and stuff about it. It had so much in that one. I loved it when it was the first couple of seasons. So I like how a lot of movies that deal with magic and the occult mix up time and like past, present, and future. I like that a lot when I see it in movies. Like A lot of times time don't really exist or it could be altered. I like when they do that in movies.
Yeah. Dang, it's this other show that I really like. I forgot the name. It's about fairy tales, like Snow White. Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh
never
yeah.
seen Once Upon a Time?
I tried to get into it. Maybe I will. I never got into it. I was too busy watching vampire stuff.
Yeah, it takes a little second to take off, but when it does,
Mm-hmm.
all the magic is there.
Really?
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Okay, the old school Supernatural and Charmed.
Oh yeah, Charmed. That's Charmed is my real life. Like like with my coven, we've done like exorcisms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's like we experienced some of that in real life.
Really?
Yeah. What about the Witches of Eastwick?
Oh, that was an interesting movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jack Nicholson as the devil, and then all his uh, mistresses are turned into witches and
Mhm.
went against him.
Yeah. Charmed is a classic though. I probably watched I watched everything maybe 3 times over.
Have you seen the new Charmed?
No, I haven't.
I think you might like that one too. It has more. It's more raw and it has more occult magic in it. It's less
Okay.
like it's less. I don't know. I think it's darker, and it
Got
does
you.
have like time travel or portals and a lot of stuff like that. And it has like um, a more colorful, diverse cast.
Mhm.
I think you like it a lot.
I liked True Blood.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, it got a little corny,
Yeah,
but first couple of seasons was really good.
yeah. True Blood was my show.
Yeah. Towards the end, I ain't resonate, but the first 3 seasons, the bomb.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so okay, Practical Magic, of course. Are they supposed to be coming out with another Practical Magic movie after all these years? So
Hmm.
that'll be interesting. They're working and the same actresses.
Mm.
You like Practical Magic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Practical Magic is good.
That's one of my favorites. The
Yeah.
Practical Magic. You know, have you seen Knowing with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I seen Knowing.
Okay. What do you think about that? Like all them numbers and patterns and signs.
Accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Super accurate. Hitting on the binary code
Mm-hmm.
very, very accurately. There's a lot of secrets in Knowing.
So yeah, I watched that show a lot. The angels, the aliens, the spacecraft, that new world that they go to afterwards, like interdimensional travel, past, present, future, the predictions and the numbers. Like
I think the prediction thing is hitting on ancient African oracle system.
mm-hmm. The little black stones everywhere.
Yeah.
The solar flare. Like a lot of people were saying we were getting hit by a lot of solar flares like a couple of years ago.
Yep.
That one was good. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what about? I know you probably like this one because it's in your close to where you live. The National Treasure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is close to where I lived.
Mm-hmm. I like that show because like there's a lot of secrets, but they put it out there like a history type of Indiana Jones type feel, librarians type feel, Da Vinci Code type stuff. But I think people that like history and stuff like that would like National Treasure.
Yeah. A lot of accurate stuff too.
Yeah.
And the lore of National Treasures, like real stories and stuff.
Okay, I've seen this other movie, The Winchester Mansion, where that lady keeps...
I've seen that.
What do you think about that?
As
far as building stuff to keep spirits lost or whatever. I think she was on to something.
I know they have that magic in Palo Mayombe.
Okay.
And a lot of the stuff that they use in that was part of a lot of secrets. So it was very interesting to see that.
Like, I noticed now that you said like getting spirits lost, sending them on blank trips, I'm calling it, like building doorways that lead to nowhere. I saw a hotel, like you said, there's lots of hotels in New York with like occult stuff in it. I saw a hotel. We got some of them in Houston, but there are certain patterns that they have in the tile or on the wall or on the ceiling that also look like mazes or like intricate patterns that keep spirits at a certain place, kind of like, keeping them in a maze or keeping them going in a circle or in a pattern where they can't escape. And I've seen a lot of these things.
You have a lot of that in castles, right? Like the staircases that lead to ceilings, or the windows that overlook other rooms, or the trap doors, the secret passage trap doors. It keeps the wrong spirits out, or it traps the. Some places have so much spiritual activity that you have to like have a security system, and that security system will be based on the geometry of how that house is. So that's the Winchester Mansion. I've seen things like that in some Airbnbs.
Oh yeah,
because I get some like really luxury Airbnbs, and I've seen like, hold on, this stairway leads to a ceiling.
Yeah,
it's the wealthy that know about this stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly in them old Victorian houses too. Like, what y'all been doing? And then that some of them have basements and like, or they build the house up high so they can have a bottom, like a lower floor, and you see lots of stuff in there too. But oh, that reminds me, I'm old, so probably haven't seen the Ghoulies. Have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen the Ghoulies.
That one, I used to watch that as a child and just crack up laughing at those little creatures, those little summoned demons. I would just like, they would look like puppets or Muppets or something. So this is another way they attract like kids and stuff to like movies and magic. They make the some of the creatures look cute or like Muppet like in Labyrinth and stuff like that. So they get a lot
like in Labyrinth.
And then like they put a lot of like animation and stuff like that too to attract
people. They see these things when they take stuff like shrooms. Yeah.
So, Gremlins.
Gremlins, and yeah. That's a good movie.
It was. That was my
good series. Well, yeah, what 3? Yeah, the Gremlins. Wow, that is. You got me reminiscing.
Okay. Well,
Coraline.
Yes, Coraline. My daughter.
Deep. Have you ever seen Spirited Away?
I think so. What's it about?
It's like an anime. This boy, he gets trapped in like a spiritual bathhouse.
No.
Okay, but yeah, Coraline. Wow, that's top 5.
That has a lot of magic portals and stuff. Like the house that had the little door and that led to nowhere, but then it led somewhere.
Yeah.
So
the Originals.
Oh yeah, that's a good show too because it's in New Orleans. Has a lot of witchcraft and ancestor magic and vampire stuff.
Hey, someone said Pan's Labyrinth. Have you ever
Uh-huh.
seen that one?
No, I never got to watch it.
Oh, you love it.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it got. Yeah, I don't even want to spoil it for you.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on my list. All right. Okay, so worst movie. The one that you was just mad about. Like, why did they make this?
I think I did not like the second Angels and Demons.
Yeah.
For like magic, it's like, what was the point of this?
Mm-mm. That's true.
What?
Like, that one was disappointing. Somebody said Blackula. No, I couldn't watch it. I tried.
There was a movie called Left Behind.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Or was it a show or a movie?
Was
it a movie?
It was a movie.
Okay.
And then let's see. What's another one? It's something, but it's not. I can't get the title of it.
Right.
Not Doctor Strange. It was kind of like a Doctor Strange, but it was like a whack version of it. It's not striking right now.
Okay, because I can't think of anything that was just so terrible. But okay, there was a show called The Leftovers on HBO. Did you ever see that?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that one was pretty good.
Okay.
It was about the rapture, like the rapture.
Okay.
Seen it? And like just at one moment, a bunch of people just disappeared off of the earth while they were doing whatever. And the leftover people that were there was trying to figure out what happened to them, where they went, and trying to like move on their lives without them. Some people pretended to die so they can get away from their family, and they like moved across the earth, like into another country, because they were like so done. So it was good. I think you would like it. I didn't like how it ended, but it's called The Leftovers, and it's funny.
Now you know what? The most recent Exorcist movie was terrible.
Oh yeah,
the new Exorcist movies are horrible.
Yes, I saw that.
So as far as worse, the new Exorcist movies going on the list, all of them.
Yeah, I was mad at that one because I went to the theater to see it, and I was very disappointed.
I was so bad. Me too. I was so bad.
I like this could have been on Netflix. What you doing?
Yeah, like why is this in the theater?
Mm-hmm. Oh, The Umbrella Academy. You seen that?
I haven't seen that.
I've seen like a couple of episodes. It's pretty good. I think you might like it. It's interesting. Has magic and stuff in it. Time travel and
The Covenant.
The Covenant. What's that?
Pretty much a group of warlocks. They had like these powers, and it got like teen drama in it and magic stuff. It's pretty all right. But
The Covenant.
Yeah, The Covenant.
That was good. I did see it. I like that one.
I think that was like 2007. The Covenant. Yeah.
What about let me see some. Yeah, The Ninth Gate. Talk about that one. Why you like that one?
I love that. Top 5. The thing what I like about The Ninth Gate is, like I said, it's talking about something that is very precious to me, and that's the Necronomicon. And it's referencing the gates of the Necronomicon. a book of mine that I like, The Gates of the Necronomicon. And then some of the demonology practice in that movie was authentic. I like that too. And then like the entire movie is so cryptic in occult secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like believe it or not, I'll share a secret with everyone. There are occult instructionals in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you know, back in the day, there were books that if you went to purchase it, you would be put on a watch list by the Illuminati. Right? The Necronomicon was one of them.
Darn it.
And then later on, there were certain movies that were manuals for how to get into the Illuminati if you knew what you were looking at. The Ninth Gate is hitting on the lines of stuff like that.
I think I've been on the list for a long time.
Yeah, you on the list. You on there.
Long time.
You know that in Dubai, if you purchase certain books or you caught with certain books, that you will go to jail for a year?
What?
Yeah, because magic is illegal in that country.
Oh.
Yeah, I know somebody who got like, I believe they got like 6 months for having the Necronomicon on them, something like that.
6 months. Oh
6 months just for having a book on them.
Shoot, I can't. I used to get a lot of people from different places that when I used to do spell work, they used to be from places where it was illegal, and they would get me to do it for them.
Yeah, cause you know also like in the Caribbean, if you do magic on someone or threaten it to harm somebody with magic, you can go to jail.
What?
Or you could go to jail for magical homicide.
They have that in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
All right, I get it. I don't talk about that stuff anyway, but that's good. I might be taking a little trip, you know. So, okay, so I read the Necronomicon in the 9th grade.
9th grade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're an OG in the occult.
Mm-hmm.
The people just don't know.
I've been there on that list for a while, and I was reading other books.
And remember in Men in Black where Will Smith shot the girl, the little girl, because she was reading like a quantum physics book?
Mm-hmm. That would be me.
That's you.
I know. I was in the 5th grade library reading a book on demonology, like in 5th grade, like just.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. I was doing that type of stuff too. Yeah, I was doing that type of stuff too around that age. And when people ask me like, "What got you into the occult?" I'm like, "I've been into this since I was a child." Yeah.
And back then, when you used to check out library books, they have all your information in that system. So that's why I'm saying I've been on the list probably. Some of the stuff I checked out. Mm-hmm. And they used to have back in the old days, they used to have the good stuff in there. They took them out. A lot of books.
Yeah, you know, one of the notorious occult library was the New York City Public Library. Had every occult book you can think of. A lot of our famous occultists got books from that library. Aleister Crowley, Pascal Beverly Rand. They got books from that library.
Mm-hmm. And even where I live, some of the books have been removed from the shelves because they don't want no kids summoning up stuff in their bedroom at night while their parents are asleep. I was been one.
I would have been one of them.
Okay, as someone who grew up Christian, interested in magic, I could really watch what I wanted. So I appreciate you both for the space and your knowledge. Okay, keeping up with Kay. Thank you, ma'am.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yes. So like I was in my room reading them books, and some stuff I was like, no, I ain't doing that. That's suspicious. But other stuff, you know, I had the access to do it, and I was only in the 5th grade. So can you imagine? And those books aren't in those libraries anymore. They took them out. But I was lucky enough to grow up where they didn't, censor so much stuff.
Yeah.
So I read the Necronomicon. I read like Conjuring books. I read like all this stuff before I was even, 14. So I knew all this stuff. I knew how to read tarot cards, and a lot of it came the comfort and the confidence to be able to learn this stuff so early came from movies. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I have the training. Like you said, it was a movie that was training. And, when you are ready, you're not afraid. A lot of people are afraid because they weren't allowed to watch the movies or the ending or whatever in the movie. But I wasn't afraid. I was like, okay, let's see if this stuff really works.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's it's like I'm to this day from when I was like a teenager, I'm able to pull from all of the cryptic messages I was downloading and receiving via movies, also video games
Mm-hmm.
and books. So I'm grateful for that. That's why I encourage, do not hide this stuff from your children.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're going to tap into this, you can't do nothing about that anyway. So you might as well not shelter this from them and allow them to develop in their understanding with it.
Yeah, because it could save them one day.
Yeah.
Because you know why I say that? Because your imagination and magic and your confidence, they all go together. Your belief in yourself, just like, your belief in your power, your ability, it could stem from magic as a child, and then it could grow into confidence and then self-awareness and so on and so forth. So I think it's good for them, definitely.
Yep.
And this is why the elite and the rich, and like you say, the secret societies teach their kids this at a young age and let them watch this type of stuff because they're going to need it when they get older in order to become self-aware and, reach their highest potential.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so the people that are saying, no, don't watch this, don't watch that, they're kind of holding their kids back from, thinking outside of the box sometimes.
Indeed.
And limited thinking.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know it's the daytime. You probably got stuff to do.
All right. Thanks for having me.
But thank you for gracing us with your presence. And
if anybody want any rituals, hit me up. I'm doing love, money, and protection.
Love, money, and protection. Okay, here's his info. It's also in the description bar, and I'm going to put it in the link right there.
Thank you. Peace.
All right. Peace out. Bye. All right, y'all. That was Terrane Hicks. He has a cult knowledge channel called the Occult College, and I put his links there. They're in the description. Y'all check it out. Okay, we're not going to be on here too much longer, but if y'all want to ask me some questions, I'll stay here for a second or two. Sprinkle. You said you think most people that are into magic are neurodivergent. Yeah, it allows you to use your mind on a different level than people are taught naturally. Because we only use a little bit. We don't use our entire brain capacity, and I think sometimes magic may unlock that a little bit, especially for some people. Mm-hmm. You said it's magic real. Okay, so if you ever watch, like, I don't know which one it was. It was like one of them X-Men movies where they were trying to make one of these mutants' power emerge by like making them witness certain things that were traumatic, and their powers would emerge upon certain things that they witnessed. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that when you are put in a position and you know something, or you know how it could possibly be done, you could literally like wield your magic, wield your mental, because all is mental. You can wield that in your mind for it to work. But in order to connect the dots, you have to have the imagination in order for the mentalism to work. So for example, if you know all is mental, but you want to get something done, but you don't know how to get it done besides like hoping and wishing for it. Magic is like the strings that connect, your power to what you want to get done, to bring it into manifestation faster in the physical. So that's how I explain that. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah. And I do notice that a lot of people that do turn to magic, they're trying to fix something, or they're trying to get revenge, or they're trying to do this or that. But people that are naturally drawn to the occult at a young age, it's just because that's where their interests lie. You know what I mean? Like mystery, magic, a lot of stuff like that. Also, the movies also guide you to that. So they just don't become an adult and then turn to it. They've always been into it since maybe they've experienced some supernatural, thing or whatever as a very young, maybe they saw a ghost, maybe they, so a lot of times people are drawn to it to answer questions that religion can't answer, or that things that cannot be explained. That's why a lot of people go into the occult. But like I said, a lot of it is literally a fool's journey. If I talk about it, some of it is and some of it's not. Some of it's a self-actualization journey, and some of it's a fool's journey, depending on the choices that you make and what you learn and what you know. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You as an astral projection, you astral projected. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said it was cool. It was traumatic but cool. Okay. Yes, I believe in times of great something, you can actually do that. Like, a lot of the movies that I like and like occult stuff, like Eve's Bayou is one of them. Yes, we like Eve's Bayou. And it's funny that the little girl that played the main character in that movie grew up and played in Lovecraft Country as well. So, two of my favorite, one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite series. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And also, like, a lot of the Disney movies have magic in it too. A lot of the Disney princess movies, a lot of the Disney cartoons, a lot of the Disney movies have the occult in it. So they're trying to teach kids from a young age as well, which I don't mind because it helps me a lot. Yes. So you were 11 years old when you did your first spell and it worked in 7 days? Bell, that's good. Recommended love spells in order. Broke up with your boyfriend. I know he's still we don't do that over here. Sprinkle. We move on and get better. We don't go backwards. If he loved you, he would be doing a spell to get you back. And sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. We don't do love spells on people that left. Unless you're doing a self-love spell. I have a self-love spell that I recommend. And because if you love yourself more than you love some dude that doesn't love you, you're going to be vibrating love and attracting it more. So I do have a self-love spell that you could do. But we don't go backwards, and we don't do spell work for men that don't want you. That's very pygmisha, baby. No. Do a self-love spell and learn to love yourself over some man that discarded you. And then when you start to vibrate in self-love, you're going to attract people to love you the same as you love yourself. Okay? Yes. We don't do that stuff. True power lies within self-actualization and self-love, not moving backwards to get something that you lost that doesn't want you. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. I have a spells playlist, and I don't know if it's available, but I do have a spells playlist on my videos, on my channel page. Okay. Hopefully it's there. I don't know. A lot of the videos were not kept by YouTube for some reason, but it's still there. Or just go look one up or make one up for yourself. Like, it's that easy. It's your intention that makes it work. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If anybody wants to share one, they can definitely share them in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, I've seen the skeleton key. That was pretty good too. Why don't I do spell work now? Because I'd be too rich, baby. Y'all, I used to do so much spell work that I literally have a whole entire room in my house that's dedicated to my spells, my spell work and all that kind of stuff. It would literally be always full with spell work that I would do for people. And it was too many. Like I had to stop doing it. I had like 20 people just lined up for spell work for one day, and I was every day. And, I'm a mother. I have to do other stuff. I got kids. I got to take them to school. I got to do this. I did not have time to keep listening to people's problems and issues and stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough that I did not need to do the spell work anymore for people, because I started teaching more and I started making the videos on how to do the spell work. But I feel like a lot of people were not taking responsibility for themselves, and they were turning to spell work because they were lazy or they didn't want to take accountability or responsibility for the things that caused a lot of the stuff in their life. And I figured that if I wanted to really teach people, I'd just teach people, because a lot of people do not take accountability for their own actions. And that was the problem that no spell work can fix. So I had to stop doing a lot of spell work because people would just not take accountability for their own actions. You need a good spell for energy. Okay, ask them in the comments, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. The phase 1 and 2 will definitely give you energy, and my elixirs. Okay, and take your vitamins. Eat less meat. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay, so don't ask me about no spell work. If it's not in the videos, if it's not in the video playlist, you can ask people in the the comments. But we're talking about movies and stuff right now, and a lot of the movies and stuff, they have a lot of examples of spell work. And if you're smart, you can write your own spell. It's all about your intention. But yeah, I had to stop doing it because people were getting on my nerve. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I did enjoy doing it though, when the type of people and the number of people weren't as crazy, But sometimes it's time to hang it up because there's too many. And I'm only one person. Okay. You got a whole separate notebook for this channel. Thank you, Miss Free Agent Girl. I appreciate you. Yeah, y'all help them out in the comments. Tell them where they go, because some people are new. And if you're going to do magic, you can't be afraid. Okay. No universal law too. Don't be listening to everybody and their mama talking about this, and that. Know what you believe before you start practicing anything. Because some of y'all be getting scared and running y'all self crazy. Spiritual psychosis is silly sometimes when it could be avoided, because some of y'all be trying to practice stuff before y'all know what it is, or before y'all know what you believe. I'm not even joking. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Anyway, let me turn off one of these. So y'all gotta make y'all's movie list, watch y'all's movies, whatever you're interested in. I definitely say go research it further. Like, a lot of movies have a lot of quantum physics in it, which is also very magical. A lot of movies have like occult knowledge in it, historical knowledge on secret societies. Like, a lot of that stuff that they put in movies has a lot of truth in it. So, whatever pulls you in the most is probably where you should start studying and learning about. Like I said, when I was young, I used to watch certain movies, and probably led me on the path that I am today. When I watched The Evil Dead, which had the Necronomicon book in it. I watched, other movies, and it led me on a path to reading certain books, to reading certain things, to being interested in certain things. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Kim, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. So a lot of times it will take you to books and things of interest to take you further into your occult studies. Okay, universal law, you can look them up online, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. They're also, like, if you have the alchemy book, if you have an alchemy book, that'll teach you about universal law. If you have the Kabbalion, there's chapters on each law that you can read. Okay. Definitely check it out. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said 13 Ghosts scared you as a kid? Yeah, that was actually a good movie. I was grown when that came out, but I did enjoy that movie. It was very well done. Okay. You bought the Kabbalion book? Yeah, it's pretty good. And it's not that long. You can read it in like one day. It's like that thick. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You got over 6,000 books and PDFs, Bruce Lee? All right. That's a lot. Did I like the movie Wicked? It was okay. I think it was more like fantasy, but I did like it. I did like the aspect of it where when the witch was falling and she like remembered her childhood self, as she reached within, like, and then that's when she started to be able to fly on the broom. When she reached back to her childhood, curiosity, belief, and magic within herself. I did like that part, of course. The parts where the animals and stuff like that were being, oppressed and like driven out was kind of interesting, because like a long time ago, people used to think that, animals and humans could definitely communicate. So I did like Wicked. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. Sinners was a good movie too. I feel like a lot of people were saying it's like, I think the cinematography and the combination of what was put in the movie is what made it so great. Because it doesn't have any more or less magic or occult or spiritualism in it than most magical movies. But I felt like how it was put together was genius. Mm-hmm. Because anybody can do an occult movie or a movie about magic, but to tell a story to put in history, folklore, and, horror and magic. Put it together so effortlessly and artistically. That's really good. A talent. Shout out to Ryan Coogler and all the actors too. And they managed to make it somewhat funny. Yes. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said all the Goosebump books, Hocus Pocus. Have y'all seen the Hocus Pocus 2? That one was funny too. Are your books highlighted or written, or is that a lack of respect for books? Okay. Do I write in books? When I was younger, I used to, but now I have separate notebooks that I take notes in. Like if I would take a note, I have like a big notebook that I would take notes in from books because I don't want to highlight them, and because I did that. And when you are interpreting something or when you're decoding something, the more you learn, the broader your decoding becomes because you see things on more than one level. So I would like make little side notes and highlight stuff and then go back like years later and I would see something totally new. So that's why I stopped writing in my books, because as you learn more and more and you decode things in different ways, things have different meanings. They have layers, hidden layers. That's why it's called the occult. So that's why I don't write in books anymore. I take notes on the side in notebooks. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So take notes in your notebook, because I've gone back to books that I've written in and laughed at my interpretation of something, or say, okay, well, there's so many more interpretations of something. If someone should get this book and only get this one interpretation, then that's not a good thing. So I write in notebooks. Thank you. I gotta go pretty soon, y'all. Do I think members of the 3 Sigma Mafia are occultists? I think most people are occultists that are into the occult. Maybe they're not as into the occult as some people are, but like, why would you choose a name like that if you weren't? Or maybe they just wanted to sound edgy. You never know. There's some people out here with stupid occult tattoos and don't even know what they mean, or they've written certain things on their body or whatever, and they don't even know what it means. Some people do. Some people already know. They could be. I don't know. Don't be fooled by names though, because some people just do things to be edgy or whatever. Some people know the meaning. Okay. Some people you would never expect or suspect know the occult. Okay, so I'm getting ready to wrap this up, but like I want to touch on one more thing about those like hidden occult schools and stuff like that I found. Like I found some of them online when online was like new. Like I was in the day of AOL, y'all. Some of y'all don't know what that is because y'all are young. It was like one of the first internet, search engines and way to connect. It took forever. You had to dial it up. You wait 5 minutes for the internet to connect. Okay. So I remember when I was like, I think I was still in high school or maybe, yeah. And I would look that up, and this really strange, like witchcraft or wizardry or occult school popped up. And I could never find it after that. Like it had disappeared within like a week, and I never seen it since. But it was somewhere in Europe, and it cost a lot of money to attend, and you had to sign papers to say, they're not responsible if you get injured or die or whatever. It's crazy. It was literally like Hogwarts before adults, and then it disappeared. I never seen it again. So there are those schools that do exist. And there's, like Terrane was saying earlier, they're kept secret by secret societies. And most of the time they're not, they're in Europe or somewhere far off in a castle or like a huge building or something like that. So he said he was never personally invited to any of them, but they do have lodges and stuff like that where they also teach, but they do exist though. And then someone in here, they said that they have a school that's opening in Transylvania, like a magic school opening in Transylvania. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. If it's open to the public or if it's invite only or what. Okay. They teach you occult practices. They teach you occult symbolism. They teach you a lot of stuff, magic. They probably do a lot of stuff that's not talked about as well, Uh-huh. The sprinkle mindset made the sister of Paris Hilton marry a Rothschild, which a lot of consider a secret society. Okay. A lot of old money like to marry old money because they have old secrets. Sprinkle. And also, like, money is also considered energy and currency. And when you're dealing in the world of magic, money is magic because it's a currency and you can wield it in certain directions, and it's a power, and it's also an energy. And it also allows the magician to feel more powerful already. They don't have to muster it up or find it. They got it elsewhere, so they can tap in from their wealth to get their extreme power of, mentalism or, creativity or manifestation, because they have so much energy and power in their wealth. They don't have to imagine how it feels. They already know how it feels, because having a lot of money is almost just like having magic and everything at your fingertip. So the next level would literally be to be able to pull off some things that most of the average person or the average people couldn't do, because they don't have that feeling of super wealth or abundance. They don't have the feeling, and some people do though. Some people can use their imagination so well, and they're so full of themselves, or they're so confident within themselves. They can literally wield that kind of power without having that financial, energy backup. Because if you notice, when people get richer, they literally become more influential and powerful over so much more. So this is what they're probably also, trying to tap into. Sprinkle. Do you think they said witchcraft is a sin in the Bible, so we can't get too powerful? Of course. Anybody that obeys something that doesn't make sense to them is to keep you at a certain level. Will I be going to the Cowboy Carter tour? Do you believe concerts and our energy harvesting ritual? I've been to 2 of Beyonce's concerts. I went to the On the Run 2 tour twice with her and Jay-Z. And I don't believe, well, it just depends on who you are and what you believe. But I felt a lot of energy at the concert. So maybe I was harvesting some energy too. I felt very energized and powerful after I left. Thank you, Goddess Laurel. Sprinkle. Why do they reveal it so openly if a cult is supposed to be hidden? Why does Disney show it? Because most people don't understand it. And it's also a way to get people interested as well, or to fear it if it needs to be put in place to be feared. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a mystery. Like they dangle it so that people know it's there, and they could use like a fear tactic or a fear factor to, make people think a certain way. But if you know what it is, or if you know enough about it, it doesn't affect you the same as it affects other people that don't know about it. You know what I mean? And the stuff that they're giving away, you can find in a book or online easily. The stuff that you have to literally go and deeply study is, you literally have to go on a spiritual journey of self in order to even understand most of the stuff that they're quote unquote showing you. So you wouldn't even be able to understand certain things unless you were really into it. You get really into it, you understand, what everything is. Not fearful, you know what I mean? So the fact that people do fear it makes it even more powerful. And when people fear things and they talk about it, then it becomes more influential, you see. So whatever energy and influence that it can create, a buzz around, controversial things, that's what it's going to do, because it's energy. Money is energy, influence is energy, so they're able to use that to profit as well. And I'm not saying they, but anybody that's using, when I say they, I mean anyone who's using occult symbolism to thrive. It doesn't have to be a whole group that agrees on, okay, let's do it. Individual people are occultists. They may not even be a part of a giant group. A lot of people can do this just with a few people or on their own. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Did I miss a super chat? Why? Yeah, I was answering that right now. It's hidden is the message that's hidden. The symbolism is a symbol. If you don't understand how to interpret, it's still hidden. You know what I mean? A lot of people will see a symbol but don't know how to interpret it. And that there's degrees and levels to interpretation. So it's still pretty much hidden, even if the symbol is sitting in your face. Unless you know how to interpret it or go, to interpret it in several ways. You said you felt a lot of energy at the Beyonce concert in DC, working security. Yes. I've been to so many concerts, but that concert I felt the most energy in. I didn't feel that type of energy in any of the other concerts I've been to. So interesting. But I can say I've never been to a Michael Jackson concert. So I don't know. But I've never felt that kind of energy in any other concert. You said, how does Beyonce gain that level of energy? By putting in work, ma'am. Sprinkle. First, it starts off with hard work. Then it becomes believing in yourself. Then you become, it's got, like, if you look at like Michael Jackson, he started off as a child, star. And as his fame grew, his knowledge grew, his self-belief grew, and his power grew, and his influence grew. It's kind of like that. It just keeps growing. Why do Disney openly show occult stuff? Because they're teaching children. Sprinkle. They're teaching. They used to have an entire cartoon series that taught sacred geometry back in the days. Disney teaches occult magic. Disney teaches magic. They're not ashamed of it. Okay. For those who want to learn, I mean, they say Disney World is the most magical place on earth. So why wouldn't they teach occult magic? Yeah. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm. Yeah. So, as you get more powerful, you need to learn about your power. You know what I mean? So it's just like those cheesy TV series where like this girl becomes the witch and then she has to learn how to use her powers. You know what I'm saying? Or someone gets a magical gift and now they have to learn how to use it and control it. It's the same thing. When the greater you get, the more you have to learn about how to wield your power. That's literally it. Because as you get more powerful, more wealthy, more knowledgeable, you got to learn how to use all of those things to sustain you and keep growing. And that's powerful. And so the occult knowledge, magic, and all this kind of stuff. This is why when people get famous and they get to the music industry and they get a bunch of money, they have to literally learn how to wield that energy, how to protect that energy, how to, create more and thrive using this, because you have to grow mentally. And sometimes your pockets grow faster than your mentality or your mental. And so you have to play catch up by learning the occult and learning magic, because it unlocks certain things in your mind. Can you send a book? Thank you, ma'am. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Magic Bible. Thank you, ma'am. You know what? I have to stop accepting books because I have too many. And like some of them I don't even read because a lot of people just send me stuff. So I am trying not to allow people to send me stuff right now because I'm trying to de-junk. But you can definitely put the name of your book in the or the name of the book that you suggest in the comments. And like, when I'm ready, maybe I'll just go ahead and purchase it. Okay, sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Why do you think they tried to sabotage MJ and all? Because he was too great and powerful. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I mean, why? When you yield that much energy and influence, you're very powerful, and a lot of people can't get to that level, or a lot of people can't get the people that they want to that level, and so they have to, you know what I mean? No one could still get to that level. The closest is definitely Beyonce, but it's a little bit different because he got there without the power of the internet. He got there without the power of, social media. That was back in the day, before stuff was so easily, influential. He had to do it without all of that. So that was super powerful to some people on the level of high magician. You know what I mean? Globally. There was too much power. Too much. So, but at the end of the day, his power is still in place. It still remains and it still influences other people. So, You said Tales from the Crypts and X-Files were scary, but your family watched it all the time. Those were good though. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Those of you who have been on my channel for a long time already know my take on the MJ situation. So I don't know. A lot of those videos aren't available anymore. Some of them are though. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Like a true alchemist, I'll just say this. Like a true alchemist that MJ was, there's lots of things that some alchemists have in common. Okay. Well, how they choose to leave. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Have yourself attempted the spiritual, mystical rituals to get something? Yes, in elementary school, I've been doing that. That's old. Been there, done that. Already at it. Yeah. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Used to do it for other people too. Okay. Thank you. You have been an occultist for 8 years. I feel like George Jefferson, you moved on up. You live a very lavish life, and you and others have helped me so much. My family just say you've come a long way. Thank you, astrology. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Villain of the zodiac. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. And definitely, once you tap into your own power and your magic and you believe in yourself, you know, definitely opens up doors, especially for abundance and prosperity, for sure. That's why a lot of rich people practice it and they teach it to their kids because that's where the money was at. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. Uh-huh. Yeah, I gotta wrap this up. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And if y'all can think of some newer movies and some older movies and series and TV shows, put them in the permanent comments so that people that watch this video later on, they have some good stuff to watch too, you know, or stuff that they may not know about. I might find some new stuff to watch as well. Okay. So I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all so much, everybody who donated. And also, all my information is linked in the description bar. I have Etsy store. I have a spiritual supply store and so much more information and links in there. So go ahead and check it out. Okay. I'll see y'all later. Bye.